Thank you for coming. This is Abuja School of Some Political Thought. This press conference is strictly in respect of the passage of the state police bill by the House of Reps. The Abuja School watched with keen interest and dismay the procedure by which the House of Reps passed the state police bill. Abuja School has no problem with the National Assembly deciding to pass laws. Of course, you know that the Senate passed executive bill, the House passed another bill that was private member and there was variance. And the presidency now sent a different bill to the House, which they have now passed. But the procedure, violated the Constitution, Section 9(2) stipulates clearly that amendment of the Constitution must be by approval of 2/3 members. And Section 39 and 40 talks about that membership as membership of those elected. So the number of legislators 2/3 must expressly approve it before it goes to the state for approval of state legislatures. But what happened is that the National Parliament had first, second hearing the same day, didn't have public hearing, had a committee, came back, and during the process, the Speaker used voice vote in spite of the protests of minority members who says, no, do the count because it's 2/3 majority. Now, this is very important. The Constitution provides for strict means of making laws. The Supreme Court had, as far back as 1984, in the case of AG Bender or AG Federation, made it very clear that any passage of law that does not have that concurrence of 2 chambers expressly following the Constitution is null and void. This is important because the Constitution, which is the grand norm of the country, should require at least very clear compliance with the rules. Abuja School views it as very serious because we are in an era of democratic failure across West Africa. And for example, democracy can fail in many ways. Coup plotters is a way of democracy failure. But when elected leaders, whether parliamentarians or executives, undermine the Constitution in the guise of democracy, then that's a democratic failure. So our concern is that this approach is one of those ways democracy dies, when legislators do not care about the provision of the Constitution. To be clear, the President has a right to amend through the National Assembly, amend the Constitution, provided they follow the rules. And our fear is that we have seen several instances of careless disregard for constitutional provision, and that threatens democracy. I want to call upon the leadership of the National Assembly to go back and do the right thing. It doesn't take more than 3-4 days for them to go clause by clause consideration of the provisions, and then vote, not voice vote, vote. And if that vote holds, then they go to the state support, then it becomes law. We are not against their legislative privilege, but we are saying the reason why we have representative democracy is that each of the parliamentarians represent the people. And when you amend the Constitution that is the grand norm, you have to allow the people's representatives express the yes or no. We don't want democracy to fail. And we are calling on the National Assembly to please, in spite of partisanship, politics, keep the Constitution safe from this level of political recklessness. And that's the message. My colleagues may go back to the legislative provision, allow clause by clause vote, consideration, and vote so that it cannot transmit to the states. This is important because we are trying coup plotters to overthrow government. At the same time, we are overthrowing government by overthrowing the Constitution that authorizes government. And Abuja School says, politics is okay, but violating the Constitution is not okay. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
With the state of the school, state police is a project that people have different views. Some support, some don't support. Okay? So the issue here is not what to believe in, because some of our colleagues, fellows may have different views. That's why we have public hearing. That's why you do consultation. But at this point, they're just amending the Constitution to allow for state police. They're going to bring another bill they call minimum standard, where they will put in all the various aspects of it. But what we're saying, to amend the constitution to allow for state police, follow the constitution. So personally, I've done a lot of work on police reform, and I've been on air, Arise, several places talking about it. So we can have a private conversation, my view. But Abuja School is coming through. We're going to have a workshop to discuss the many issues, accountability issues, how to do transition, how do you manage the workforce? Are you going to have ethnic police or so state police? Does it mean ethnic police? Is state police in Imo? Does it mean Igbo police? There are many issues that Abuja School will do a workshop and bring Remo Tukuba from Ghana, an expert on these issues, to tell us the history of policing and how we can create a democratic police for democratic development governance. So at this point, the question is simple, which is do the right thing. Thank you.